Sagittarius, today's day 19 of Tapping into Miracles and Magic, which is a tarot series that I'm centering around the magician. And today, the magician wants you to hear, Sagittarius, that your life is blessed. Okay. The magician is calling out the fact that you have been interpreting your life through the lens of your ego and the pain that you've experienced in the past for far too long. Okay. And the magician is saying that if you want to experience new beginnings, if you want to tap into miracles and magic, Sagittarius, then it's time for you to put your eyes on the truth. And that can only be found deep within your soul. Okay. The answers, the solutions, and the knowledge that will expand you, that will expand your life, okay, will be revealed once you come back home to yourself. And the first card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the Ace of Coins, okay? And through the Ace of Coins, the magician wants you to hear that this is the moment on the timeline, Sagittarius, where you are establishing a stronger emotional connection with yourself. Okay, you are listening to yourself, you are trusting yourself, and you are believing in yourself. This is why you've done the work, right? To come back home to yourself, to start listening to yourself again, to put your voice first, right? You're no longer relying on outside sources to fill your cup. You're no longer relying on outside sources, Sagittarius, to fill your cup. And you're starting to notice that this is providing you with a deeper sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. Because now, Sagittarius, you are taking the necessary steps to support your well being. And you are no longer pushing that responsibility off onto other people, right? You're no longer pushing that responsibility off onto outside sources. And so this is allowing you to find pleasure within yourself, not pleasure in anything external, not pleasure in a particular person or in people, but you're finding pleasure within yourself because you're listening to yourself. You're listening to what it is that you need and you're honoring those needs. Right? You're trusting yourself. You're listening to the wisdom, to the knowledge that lives deep within your soul, and you're trusting that wisdom and knowledge. You're trusting yourself to carry you through. You're trusting yourself to take the right steps, to make the right decisions, to make the right choices, right? Day 18, we talked about choices. So Sagittarius, this is the moment on the timeline where you're doing it for yourself. You're doing it for yourself and not in a selfish way. Yes, in a selfish way, but not really in a selfish way. You're doing it for yourself because you know that you are setting a standard. You're setting the precedent for those who will come after you. All right. And the second card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message today is the Four of Coins. And we've had the Four of Coins come up today, but the message is a little bit different. Okay. So through the Four of Coins, the magician is inviting you to celebrate, Sagittarius. The magician is inviting you to celebrate. So, what I'm hearing and what I'm being shown is that you are experiencing emotional freedom. Mentally and emotionally, Sagittarius, you have liberated yourself. You have set yourself free. And this calls for celebration, Sagittarius. Okay, give yourself the chance, give yourself the time, give yourself the opportunity to celebrate the fact that you have broken free, okay? You recently broke free from an illusion that was keeping you in someone else's shadow, okay? This could be a parent or a significant other, or maybe just someone whose voice you are putting before your own. And now that you are allowing your voice to be the dominant force in your life, Sagittarius, you're finding joy once again, right? Because the Four of Coins is speaking to the fact that you've lost your sense of connection to joy. Okay. And so now that you are honoring your voice and your voice has become the dominant voice in your life once again, you're coming back to that joy. You're coming back home to yourself. And at the center of all of that is joy. At the center of all of that is peace. At the center of all of that is harmony. Okay. And that's what you're coming back home to. That's what you're experiencing as you turn back toward yourself, Sagittarius. Okay. The last card that we have coming through to clarify the magician's message is the Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords came through during day 18. Okay, so 2 days in a row, we have the Six of Swords coming up. And the Six of Swords is coming through to reiterate this message, Sagittarius, that a new beginning is unfolding for you. And you may be asking yourself, why now? Right? Why is the new beginning unfolding now? Why is it happening right now? Why didn't it happen 3 months ago? Why didn't the new beginning unfold a year ago, 5 years ago, right? Because you've been feeling as if you've been in this space of just feeling stagnant and confused and unsure of what direction to turn. And so you may be asking, like, why now? Why all of a sudden is the new beginning unfolding? And Sagittarius, the reason why is because you are clear on who you are. You are more clear on what it is that you want. You are more clear on what it is that you value. You are more clear on what it is that truly matters. Okay. 3 months ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, you were not clear on who you were. You were getting clear. You were starting to break away from those illusions and you were starting to let them go. And you were beginning to get clear on who you were, but you weren't as clear as you are now. Clear enough to say, peace out to everything that doesn't align, that doesn't resonate, right? A few years ago, maybe even 3 months ago, you weren't ready to say bye. You weren't ready to leave it all behind. But now you are because you're clear. You've been taking the time to come back to what it is that you value. You've been taking the time to reconnect with what truly matters to your heart, to your soul. And because you're standing firm in that, God is like, it's time to go. It's time to go. Okay, Sagittarius. And the other reason why the new beginning is happening now is because you're no longer distracted by the delusional fantasies. And we talked about this in an earlier reading in this series, is that you're letting go of those childish fantasies, right? You're no longer being distracted by those delusional fantasies, but now you're tuned into the desires of your heart and soul. Now you are committed and devoted to living out the will of your heart and soul. Okay, so those childish fantasies, you've let go of them because you know that those childish fantasies belong to your wounded child self. And those fantasies were really just your wounded child self's way of wanting to of wanting to have escaped or to have been able to escape whatever reality you were facing at that time, right? So you're letting go of the delusional fantasies and you're tuning into your heart and your soul and the desires that are there. Okay. Previously, Sagittarius, you weren't being guided by your soul. Again, this is why this new beginning is unfolding now because you weren't being guided by your soul. You were still in cahoots with that wounded child self and those delusional fantasies, and you're letting that go. And the bonus card that we have coming through to wrap up day 19's message, Sagittarius, is the Hierophant. And the Hierophant has been present during this series as well. Okay. And through the Hierophant, the magician wants you to hear Sagittarius or is asking you to believe in what you say. Okay. Say what you believe in what you say, and then allow what you believe to fuel your actions, right? Because as you do, the miracles and magic will unfold. And as it all unfolds in your life, other people, okay, the people around you, the people who are watching you, they will be inspired and encouraged by your faith, right? By your wisdom and by your devotion to higher consciousness and expansion. And Sagittarius, that is what is important. You are a leader in the community. You are someone that people look to. You are someone that people trust. Okay? So say what you believe in what you say, and then allow your belief to fuel your actions. So that is the message for day 19 of Tapping into Miracles and Magic. I appreciate you for being here. Let me know how this may have resonated with you in the comments. I do want to invite you to join me for the Archer's Reiki Circle, which is a weekly offering that I host every Sunday morning, specifically for the Sagittarius community. You can send me a DM and I will send you the information so that you can sign up, okay? I love you so very much. You deserve to be here, Sagittarius. You deserve to experience joy. You deserve to experience the peace. You deserve to experience the new beginning that is unfolding, and you have everything that you need to be successful.